Now, let me preface this by saying I'm a true Democrat, as in, I don't vote, I let the people decide. Why should I decide for them? But I'm looking at the landscape right now of the Wisconsin election, and what I'm seeing is that Francesca Hong is in an imperialist party, but she is calling out the Iran war. She's against the Iran war. She's in a right-wing party that had Joe Biden and Obama, who would be considered Republicans in the 1980s, but she's pushing for like practical infrastructure policy. Her platform has some funny, like hyper-progressive lefty extremism in it that I disagree with. I don't think that she is a good image of what we want. I don't think that she will be able to escape being compromised and corralled by the Democratic Party, just like they did with AOC, just like they're doing with Mamdani, forcing him to compromise with imperialism. I mean, for God's sakes, on Instagram, she memorialized October 7th, even in the anniversary, when people were starting to forget about it. So you can't tell me she's not sympathetic to imperialism to some extent, or maybe pacifist. And I think this is honestly the most realistic strategy that a social democrat can use when they're running, is to compromise with the imperialists, compromise with the big corporations, because that's how you fund a campaign. Because that's how you climb the ladder in your party and are legitimized. And that's why I advocate for independents to run. I might vote for an independent, genuinely, but not a Democrat. Now, what I'm seeing is that Hong is being attacked on the basis that she's a secret communist or Marxist. And I think this is very revealing, because when people have anything to the left of Joe Biden, they're immediately called a communist or Marxist. They're immediately hunted down by the bourgeoisie, who doesn't want these ideas to be legitimized. They don't want you to think that it's possible for things to be better. Now, she's playing into this in a way that I really don't like, by saying, oh, in an ideal world we abolish prisons, by saying like, oh, we're on the open borders camp, we're gonna have completely permissive immigration policy, defund the police, all this stuff. I don't agree with this. I think this is feeding into what the right wing, and by right wing I also mean the Democrats, this is feeding into what the right wing is saying. It doesn't have cross-party appeal. If you really truly want to win and make a difference, you have to drop the crazy stuff and pick popular moderate policies that people like. And I do think that's the majority of her platform. But the shift is revealing to me. I don't want to spend my time saying that people are wrong for supporting Francesca Hong. I don't think they're wrong for doing it. I want people's consciousness to become more advanced over time. Now, I don't believe in the Overton window. In fact, the communist label, which is being applied by the right wing, is being validated, not really, but by her claiming these things, these utopian things about abolish prisons. That's why she's a communist. That's why she's a Marxist. That's not true. This is a linear theory of politics. It's actually precisely the social democratic reformist DSA position that allows for these utopian or anarchistic stances to exist, because it is not accountable to what's really possible. It's not dialectically rooted, so it can run off in all of these other directions that communism cannot. And so in many ways, communism, despite being to the left of the DSA and Hong, represents a more centered and rooted and moderate and real position, which is precisely the opposite of what they're portraying it as and giving evidence for. And to me, it's extremely frustrating that the mainstream media, that the people on the right, they don't address Marx directly. They have a few things. It doesn't work because of historical examples. We can debate that. Oh, the labor theory of value isn't real. Okay, we can talk about that. We can debate that. But instead of trying to even address Marx on his own terms. It's like they just want to build a wall around him. But the moment you pierce that wall and actually read Marx, you realize they're all a bunch of liars. How long do you think they can keep this facade going? How long do you think? Because when they condemn these things, they make them more compelling to me. Because I hate them. And people hate them. When people see people on the right who have been keeping this country in a ditch for so long, hating something, what effect do you think that has? These people are so naive and out of touch that they genuinely think condemning something will make people turn away from it. They have no idea what's coming.